want to talk about canes, and I got two of my favorite canes here. This is the Black Dragon from Cane Fighters International. It's a beautifully carved and decorated cane, but more importantly, this cane is made out of solid American hickory. That's it, boy, you just lie down. And it has been treated to make it stronger, heavier, and more able to deal with impact. This also is made by Cane Fighters International. It is the Mjolnir walking stick, and again, it is quite a bit different than the Black Dragon in that it is a ball top cane, or it has a knuckle, as they would call it in Irish stick fighting. It also has Master Ziggy's Combat Ready strap. The Combat Ready strap is to keep the cane in your hands. If you fall down, if somebody grabs it, you have extra security. Many of you might not like it, so you can just do the quick release and your hands can be all over this cane without having them attached to it. That's a personal choice. I can quite honestly tell you that I can manipulate this cane quite effectively with the strap on my wrist, and if I fall, the cane is attached to me. Also, the nice thing about this is I can go on my phone and just have the cane hanging off my wrist. It's a nice little addition, but you don't have to use it. You don't have to have it. That's a personal choice. The crook on this cane, also known as the horn, is also combative. This comes to a chisel point that can dig into and cause pain to an opponent. Hooking with the cane is something that was alien to me until I trained with Master Ziggy, and I do think that's an excellent attribute if you train to use it. It's not something that will magically give you the ability to just, trip and manipulate people, but you jam this into a back, you pull somebody in, right? Pull hard and hit them with your live hand, things like that. It opens up a whole new type of training and fighting that you can do with your cane. The beauty of the crook top cane is it doesn't look like a weapon. This looks like a weapon. So if I try to take this on a plane, I may have problems. I've heard a lot of people do take them on planes. So if I'm traveling, I guarantee you it will be a crook top cane that I'll travel with, because I can bring this with me everywhere and always have it with me. And even though it doesn't have that strap, I can still hang this and do things with my hands. I can, it's just handy. The crook is handy to have. This is the cane I carry most, but this is the cane that I carry quite often too. This is the cane I'd probably want with me if I had to use it in a self-defense situation. But both of these are extremely hard-hitting, they're weighty, and they will cause damage. And I honestly believe that a hard hit with something like this, with someone who knows how to generate power, would be devastating. If you are going to choose a cane for self-defense, I would say strictly self-defense, the ball top or the shillelagh type canes do have an advantage. However, this opens up an entirely different world of fighting. So it's up to you. I love both these canes. I think this is the one I would choose if I had to fight, because the one thing about the crook top, yes, you can grab and tear with that crook, but it can also end up catching on to somebody and be torn from your hands. The ball top is just a little more streamlined for the chaos of combat, in my opinion. Let's go look at me actually using the canes a bit. One of the drills that is extremely important in developing your ability to use any weapon is what we call ensayo or carenza. So this is just manipulating your weapon, right? Playing with it, right? Trying strikes that you might use, getting flow with it. Okay, learning how to deal with missing a strike rather than always making contact with something. And some parts of this drill are just strictly for body movement and flow and exercise, right? You can get a lot out of manipulating weapons that helps develop physical fitness and other attributes. The weapon you train with will have its own characteristics, right? Now, the only problem I have with this combat ready strap is the fact that it attaches one hand to the cane. I like to switch hands. I like to have the ability to switch hands. So, get used to your weapon through play. Get used to your weapon through flow. Get to know its energy. Get to know its weight. What happens when you overswing, how you can recover, become fluid with your weapon. Here I am showing different strikes you can do with the crook top cane and the ball top cane. And I gotta say, that ball really hits like a sledgehammer, but the crook can allow me to do things like this, which is kind of fun. But my training in Eskrima makes that straight stick a little bit easier for me to manage and use. However, I am really enjoying the things that I can do with that crook top cane, like that. That is a pretty fun thing to practice, and man, that would hurt. But is it as practical as just smashing with the stick itself? I don't think so, but it is kind of fun training different aspects of this. Being able to train new things is a lot of fun, and the crook allows me to do that. The weight on these canes is something that is new to me compared to rattan 31 inch or 28 inch or knee sticks. However, when I train with Bahi or Kamagong, those are heavy as well, but these are just a longer lever, and it's a lot of fun to apply my Eskrima with something that's a longer lever and something I can carry with me, I can actually use. It makes my Eskrima have a lot more practical use, and this Cane Fighters International curriculum is one that is one of the most practical approaches to the combative use of the cane. I absolutely love the program, and it goes hand in hand with what I've already trained. I am proud to be a master instructor in it, and I'll be doing some weekend workshops on the use of the cane. But all that aside, I hope this helped illustrate the differences between the ball top cane and the crook top cane. So you can see neither one of these canes are worse for wear after I abused them. I did lose the shoe on this one, but that's meant to come off because they wear out. And the only thing I worry about is, you know, chipping the carvings and things like that on the cane. I don't want to lose any of the aesthetics on these canes because they are absolutely beautiful. but they can put up with a lot of abuse. And I'm not gonna do this very often with these ones because these are my two favorites, but I wanted to show how well made they are. And you can see the knuckle on this thing would be devastating, and this would be absolutely devastating to be hit by. You know, any part of these canes would break whatever they're hitting. So if you need stopping power, there's probably quite a bit in these canes. So I'll put a link to Master Ziggy's site, and I hope you enjoy this video. And I'll also put a link to my Patreon where I have a lot of lessons that available on eskrima, self-defense, and other martial topics. Have a great day.